The brutal truth most men avoid. Let me start with something that might sting, but it needs to be said. She isn't saying no to sex, she's saying no to you. And before you get defensive, listen closely, because this isn't about hate or blaming women or playing the victim. It's about truth. Most men don't fail with women because they're shy. They don't fail because women are complicated. They fail because they don't know how desire actually works. Here's the uncomfortable reality. A lot of men believe that asking for sex, expressing desire, or leading intimacy somehow makes them less masculine. They think restraint equals strength, respect equals silence, patience equals attraction, and that belief is exactly what makes them invisible. Let me be clear, women don't reject sex, they reject men who don't generate desire. That includes the man who begs for affection, the man who over-explains, the man who waits endlessly, hoping she'll eventually make the first move, the man who hides his desire because he's afraid of being judged. And here's the irony most men miss. Women feel desire just as strongly as you do. They crave intimacy, closeness, and connection, but only with a man who understands a fundamental truth most never learn. Female desire isn't requested, it's provoked. Not forced, not manipulated, not begged for. Provoked through presence, through energy, through certainty. This is where psychology meets Stoicism. It's not about playing games or using cheap pickup lines. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to plead, pressure, or play the victim to feel wanted. A man who is calm in his desire, grounded in himself, and unbothered by the outcome. Most men think intimacy requires endless dates, perfect timing, and extreme patience. What they don't realize is this. She already knows whether she wants you within the first few minutes. Everything that comes after is just confirmation or disqualification. If you can't read her energy, lead the moment, or move with masculine intent, attraction slowly bleeds out, and you're left confused, frustrated, replaying the same question in your head. What did I do wrong? Here's the truth most won't tell you. She wants you to take initiative, not desperately, not aggressively, but confidently, calmly, intentionally. She wants to feel certainty, contained sexual energy, direction. And brother, this isn't something you fake, it's something you train. Not through TikTok tricks or scripted lines, but through mindset, presence, and Stoic self-mastery. Because the Stoic man doesn't panic at rejection. He doesn't chase approval, and that's exactly why he creates the most desire. So ask yourself this before we go any further. Are you trying to be chosen, or are you becoming the kind of man women choose without being asked?
Lead or lose? Why asking permission kills desire. Here's a brutal truth no one has the courage to tell men anymore. The moment you ask for permission, you surrender power. And when you surrender power, attraction dies. Let's be clear before anyone twists this. This is not about being rude, disrespectful, or forcing anything. A real man would never do that. This is about leadership, and leadership doesn't ask for directions at every step. Leadership moves with certainty. When a man asks, "Can I kiss you? Do you want a hug? Is it okay if we take things further?" She doesn't hear respect. She hears hesitation. She hears doubt. She hears a man unsure of himself, and doubt is poison to desire. Women respond to what you project, not what you explain. Female desire is reactive. It responds to energy. If you project insecurity, she feels uncomfortable. If you project certainty, she relaxes into attraction without needing words. This is where Stoicism becomes dangerous in the best way. A Stoic man doesn't need to ask for permission to lead. He acts from calm confidence. He reads the moment. He moves with intention. And if she resists, he doesn't collapse, get offended, or beg. He simply adjusts or walks away. Ironically, that calm non-attachment is what makes her want him more. Think about this scenario. You're alone with a woman. The mood is good. She's close to you. She's laughing softer now. Eye contact lasts longer. Her body is open. Everything is aligned. You feel the moment, and then you kill it. You ask, "Can I kiss you?" Suddenly, the air shifts. She smiles awkwardly. "Maybe later," she says. What happened? She was ready until you showed her that you weren't sure. Now flip it. Instead of asking, you slow down. You hold eye contact. You move closer without rushing. Your body is calm. Your presence is steady. No words, no tension in your voice, just certainty. In that silence, her body decides before her mind ever does. That's leadership. Not aggression, not pressure, presence. Women don't want to guide you step by step like a parent. They want to feel that you know what you're doing, that you can lead a moment without falling apart emotionally if it doesn't go your way. And here's the part most men struggle with. Leading means being okay with losing. A man who fears rejection asks permission to protect his ego. A man who trusts himself moves forward without needing guarantees. And that confidence, quiet, grounded, unapologetic, is what creates attraction faster than words ever could. So ask yourself honestly, are you asking because you respect her or because you don't trust yourself? Because a man who trusts himself doesn't need constant approval. And when you stop asking, she starts feeling something she can't logically explain. The desire paradox. Why the man who doesn't react wins. Here's where most men completely lose the plot. They think attraction is about doing more texting, more explaining, more reassurance, more emotional reactions. But in reality, the man who reacts the least creates the most desire. Let me be blunt. If every message she sends or doesn't send controls your emotional state, you've already lost. If she takes hours to reply and your mood drops, if she posts a story and you start overthinking whether it's about you, if a little coldness makes you chase harder, she feels that instantly. And when a woman feels that a man is emotionally dependent on her reactions, desire shuts down. Why? Because attraction requires emotional safety, and emotional safety doesn't come from a man who is shaken by every stimulus. It comes from a man who is centered, stable, unmoved. This is where Stoicism separates men. The Stoic man isn't cold, he isn't distant, he isn't pretending not to care. He feels deeply, but he doesn't let his feelings control his behavior. He observes before reacting. He stays grounded whether she's warm or distant, and that calm strength makes him rare. Most men today are emotionally exposed, transparent, predictable. Women can read them in seconds. They know when he's anxious, needy, or trying to get validation. Even if he hides it verbally, his energy exposes him. And here's the paradox that drives women crazy. When you stop reacting to her, she starts reacting to you. When you stop centering your life around her attention, she starts wondering why you don't need it. When you stop chasing, she starts feeling the gap. When you stop trying to please, she starts trying to feel you. Ask yourself this honestly. Do you have a life that pulls you forward even if she disappears? Do you remain calm when she goes silent? Can you walk away without resentment? Because that's what creates tension. That's what creates mystery. That's what ignites desire without a single word. Now let's talk about the final truth most men never understand. If you have to ask a woman for sex, you've already lost. And I know that sentence hurts, but understand what it means. It doesn't mean consent doesn't matter. Of course it does. It means real desire doesn't need convincing. When a woman desires you, she moves toward it, subtly, emotionally, physically. The biggest mistake men make is rushing the moment. They verbalize everything. They remove all mystery. They force her into a decision instead of creating space for her to choose. And here's the psychological shift that changes everything. A woman's desire becomes strongest when she feels like it was her idea. Not because you pressured her, not because you begged, not because you rushed, but because you created an environment where desire could breathe. Silence, presence, calm confidence, contained sexual energy. That's the trick very few men understand. When you're comfortable with silence, when you don't rush to fill space, when you're relaxed in your body and certain in yourself, she starts feeling things she can't logically explain. She'll lean closer, she'll touch you accidentally, she'll ask questions that sound innocent but aren't. Are you always this calm? Why do I feel nervous around you? Are you staying a bit longer? Those aren't questions, they're invitations. And when that moment comes, you don't freeze, you don't overtalk, you don't ask for candy like a child. You simply move with awareness, with confidence, with control. That's the difference between a man who is tolerated and a man who is desired. So here's the final question I want you to sit with. Are you trying to be liked, or are you becoming a man who is felt? Because men who are felt don't beg, they don't chase, they don't react. They lead, quietly, powerfully, naturally. And once you understand this, truly understand it, the way women respond to you will never look the same again. If this hit you, say it in the comments. If you've lived it, tell your story. And if you're ready to stop being invisible and start building real magnetism from the inside out, stay here. This isn't just content, this is a wake-up call. And once you wake up, there's no going back.